Good evening. This is Shindo. I don't know if you have been paying attention to the news last few days. Trump and Israel and what happened with the UN resolution to condemn Israel. Today, Netanyahu is responding to the UN resolution. If you like what I do, please click like, comment, like an adult, share my videos, and of course, subscribe to my channel. This, as all news articles that I read, will be found in the description box. This is from the Times of Israel. They are spitting at us, Netanyahu said to tell colleagues, "We will respond forcefully." Fearing UN vote on principles of Palestinian statehood, PM, quote, reaching out to Trump. Folks, if you can't read the writing on the wall of what's going on here, I mean, really, I can't spell it out for you anymore. You should know by now, especially people who have been following this kind of thing for years now, like I have, for years and years and years, of what to expect at the end of this age. All right, TV reports Netanyahu is wary that Kerry will set out perimeters for permanent accord. Then outgoing Obama administration will seek Security Council approval. Amid escalating fallout from the UN Security Council vote Friday that condemned Israel's settlement activities, a furious Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was reported on Sunday night to be attempting to, quote, recruit the incoming Trump administration and the U.S. Congress to block a feared bid by the outgoing Obama administration to have the Security Council approve principles for a Palestinian state. Quote, they are spitting at us, unquote, Netanyahu has told colleagues behind closed doors, Channel 2 News reported. Quote, we will respond forcefully, unquote. Netanyahu held a 40-minute meeting with U.S. Ambassador Dan Shapiro on Sunday evening, having summoned the envoy to explain why the U.S. abstained in the vote of Resolution 2334, enabling it to pass a 14-0 rather than vetoing it. He had earlier summoned the envoys of the 12 nations with representatives in Israel that voted for the resolution for a dressing down at the foreign ministry. Underlining Israel's determination to press ahead with building beyond the pre-1967 lines, the Jerusalem municipality will this week approve some new homes in Ramat Shlomo and Ramat, neighborhoods captured in 1967 and subsequently annexed by Israel as part of Jerusalem, Channel 2 News reported. Netanyahu is now reaching out to the incoming Trump administration, which takes office on January 20th, and to friends in Congress in the hope of, quote, deterring what he sees as further potential Obama administration-led diplomatic action against Israel, the Channel 2 report said. His aim is for the Trump team to make plain that his administration will, quote, economically hurt, unquote, those countries that voted against Israel in the UN, and that to do so in the future. Do you see what's being set up? Israel is going to be in a position to basically do what Trump wants, and Trump is going to do what Israel wants. We're going to see this third temple being built soon, no doubt about it. It's all falling together, folks. Netanyahu's fear is that Secretary of State John Kerry will set out principles or perimeters for a Palestinian state in a speech that he has said he will deliver in the next few days on his Middle East vision. The Prime Minister fears that in its final days, the Obama administration will seek to have a resolution enshrining those perimeters adopted by the UN Security Council, the report said. France is to hold a conference on the Israel-Palestinian conflict on January 15th, and Netanyahu expects that Kerry will attend, that the Middle East Quartet, the U.S., UN, Russia, and EU, will coordinate their positions at the summit, and that they will turn to the Security Council in the very last days of the Obama presidency, a Channel 10 report further suggested. Such speculation was not confirmed by the Prime Minister's office, but Netanyahu has made public his outrage at the Obama administration several times since Resolution 2334 was passed, claiming that the president initiated and helped draft the resolution, quote, behind Israel's back. He has variously called the resolution skewed, shameful, and ridiculous, in parts because it brands Jerusalem's old city, including the Temple Mount and Western Wall, quote, occupied Palestinian territory, unquote. Boy, it's almost as though they have written out the script 2,000 years ago and people are abiding by it. Folks, this is nothing new. I mean, as far as anybody who is at all familiar with the prophecies concerning this area, this land of nothing but desert. As far as I'm concerned, I would love to see nothing more than these Abrahamic faiths fight out and kill each other over this spot of meaningless desert land. Lighting festive Hanukkah candles at the Western Wall on Sunday night, Netanyahu stressed that Israel, quote, cannot accept the UN resolution and asked, quote, how could they vote that the Western Wall is occupied territory? We were here much earlier, unquote. In an address on Saturday night, Netanyahu has likened President Barack Obama to the former President Jimmy Carter, who has said was, quote, deeply hostile to Israel. He described the vote in the Security Council as, quote, the swan song of the old world that is anti-Israel, unquote. Now, he said, quote, we are entering a new era. And as President-elect Trump said, it's going to happen a lot faster than people think. It sure is, unquote. In this new era, it will be a lot more costly for those who seek to harm Israel, he warned. The Prime Minister was also widely reported Sunday to have either canceled or opted not to schedule a meeting with Britain's Prime Minister, Theresa May, at the World Economic Forum annual meeting in Davos next month. His spokesman said no such meeting has ever been arranged. He also said to have chosen not to schedule a meeting with China President Xi Jinping. He has already recalled Israel's ambassadors from Senegal and New Zealand, two of the four countries that co-sponsored the resolution. Israel has no ties with the other two sponsors, Malaysia and Venezuela. Netanyahu also reportedly told his cabinet ministers at the meeting on Sunday morning to reduce their engagement with all the countries that voted for the resolution with which Israel has ties. China, Russia, France, the UK, Spain, Egypt, Angola, Ukraine, Uruguay, Japan, New Zealand, and Senegal. They were told to minimize any visits to these countries and that they would not receive visits from their foreign ministers. On Saturday, Netanyahu canceled this week's scheduled visit to Israel of Ukraine's prime minister. Addressing the weekly cabinet meeting in Jerusalem Sunday, Netanyahu reiterated his staunch opposition to Resolution 2334, quote, "We have no doubt that Obama administration intended it, stood behind it, coordinated its versions, and insisted upon its passage," unquote, he said. So now, folks, we have, again, the messianic figure of Donald Trump coming in as president to fight back the evil Barack Obama and all those Muslim, all the Muslim sympathizers. Donald Trump is going to be able to capitalize on all of this. These things aren't happening by accident, folks. There are powers that are beyond earthly powers. Yes, that's what I said. There are powers, there are energies out there beyond earthly powers that are pushing this to a brink of war. And then, of course, we have that valiant white knight on his white horse coming in to save the day. Donald Christ Trump. Did you know that his mother's middle name was Christ? Donald Trump's. Interesting stuff, folks. Scary stuff if you don't know what's going on and you still want to live in denial. Donald Trump is going to usher in a new age, a Pax Americana, a worldwide peace, where everyone is going to be in awe of this man. And everything is being set up just as though someone, somewhere, is writing out the script, and everyone seems to be following it along just to the letter. The only way that you yourself can survive this is to not get yourself involved in it. If you support Trump, think about why. Because you are basically uploading everything that you want this country to be onto this man, so that regardless of what happens, you're going to see it the way you want to see it. You're going to say to yourself, yes, it was a good thing that I voted for Trump. It's not a good thing. It wasn't a good thing to vote for either one of these candidates. But one of them won and one of them lost. We're going into an age, a dangerous, dark age, when we have people out there who are literally worshiping Donald Trump. You keck folks who tell me you're not, you're liars. I don't believe that you get down on your knees and pray to him. That doesn't mean that you're not worshiping him. Scary times, folks. Pay attention to what's going on in Israel, even when it's happening on Christmas Day, because it's important stuff. Important that you know what's going on. And it's very, very crucial that if you want to survive, that you don't get involved in it. Be aware of it, but do not get yourself wrapped up in it, because the next thing you know, you're going to be on one side or the other with this. And neither one of them is going to win. They're going to destroy each other. It's coming. Sure enough. This is Shindo. Everyone have a Merry Christmas.